We are back, baby. We're here to talk some more football with you. We got the schedule release. We've got the NFL draft. I know y'all waiting to hear our takes, so we're coming at you on a special Friday night Birds of a Feather. Let's go.
Oh my God! Embarrassed!
He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you download your podcast. So if you're listening to us live right now or on your commute or on the way to Baggio's Bread, we greatly appreciate the support. It's your boy Chucks, Jake Friel, PY, and don't worry, Mr. OGP will be on with us shortly. He's just having some technical difficulties on his end, but he will be on the show in a little bit. Gentlemen, it's been a couple weeks since we talked football. PY, I know I saw you and Pete last week, but football-wise, how you guys feeling? What's going on?
Good. Excited. I mean, this is where it kind of gets tough, right? To where after the schedule comes out, there's just a lull for a couple months, so we have to figure some things to talk about, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty to talk about, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Yeah. PY, how about you?
Eagles are single-handedly keeping me alive.
Insane, right?
If it was not for this draft, I don't know if I would be alive right now. You can even tell it's like the beard is just growing, and I'm just like the hair is long.
Well, you're clinging on to the one hope, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. I hear you.
That's a dangerous thing to cling on to,
especially with summer coming up, right? We don't have much. We don't have much, but
if the Phillies can start picking up a little bit, I just need it to get me into September. I'm like, please, God.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, we've got some things to talk about, like you said, Jake. We're going to talk about the NFL schedule. It got released yesterday, so we'll go over it. We'll go over the Eagles schedule. If you guys want to project some wins and losses, you can. You know I hate doing that this early, but if you guys want to, it's conversation. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about some of the hyped up matches that we're looking forward to, and then look at the schedule as a whole. What do we think about it? And then second half of the show, we're going to get into the NFL draft. We haven't been able to sit down, just us, the Birds of a Feather crew, the number one spot on A2D Radio for draft content. I know our listeners are waiting to hear our takes. We were live on A2D Radio during the draft, but now that we've gotten a couple weeks to settle, we're going to give our thoughts. We're going to talk about our favorite picks in the draft, our most hated picks in the draft, and which teams we thought did the best, which teams thought we did the worst, and we'll talk about questionable moves here and there overall. So we'll tackle that, and of course, we will get into No Huddle, and we'll talk about things sports-related, non-sports-related, and all that. But first half of the show, which is brought to us by Alonji Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including myself and ATD's own Andy Ritter, create a custom vacation for you. It's getting close to summertime, guys. Disney will be releasing their 2024 packages starting on May 31st. So it is time to start planning your Disney vacation. So let me know if you want. Our poll question: the Super Bowl rematch between the Eagles and Chiefs is the Eagles' most anticipated game of 2023. Agree or disagree? Jake, you weren't on last week at all, so let's hear your voice a little bit. What do you think?
Fair enough. I'm sure it is for a lot of people, but for speaking for myself personally, no. I'm leaning to, I would say for me right now, it would be the 49ers game just because I want to stick it to the 49ers that just for whatever reason, just don't want to shut up for whatever reason. I don't know. And now you have Kyle Shanahan talking like, what are we doing? What I don't understand it. What do we do? And then obviously the Cardinals with Jonathan Gannon, that'll be fun, of course. But I think right now for me, it's the 49ers. That's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
PY, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the Chiefs rematch is going to be great, but I want to beat the shit out of Kyle Shanahan. He's a loser. He's never won anything. His team is a bunch of losers. They're a bunch of crybabies, and I'm sick of them. Like everyone's complaining. The kicker was talking smack. The kicker. My friend Ann just knows nothing about sports. I told her the joke about the kicker, and she's like, "Really? That guy?" Like everyone and their mother on that team is just running their mouths. And you know what? I don't care if it's Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Joe Montana, whatever. Like I just want to beat the living snot out of them.
Mr. OG Pete, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad my computer and StreamYard play nice together. They finally let me on. But I see we're already hot and heavy into the conversation. What's up, fam out there? Thank you for rocking with us on a Friday. To be determined programming. We thought we were going to be celebrating the Sixers win last night, but
whoa. No Sixers talk. No. There's none of that, okay? Good vibes and happiness.
Sunday, I don't have a concern. I don't have a concern.
I don't either, oddly enough.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, this shirt's about a year old. I think it came out around this time last year.
I think June or July.
I literally have 4 different versions of that shirt.
So, but no, I agree to this poll simply from the fact of I can give 2 shits less about the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like my. How can I say this? Like the 49ers, we've been there, we've done that, we beat them. We haven't beaten the Chiefs yet. The Chiefs are the stepping stone. The Chiefs are our future. Our 49ers are our past. If they want to be concerned with us and want to make every excuse in the world, let them. It's actually shocking to me. I don't know why they feel as if the need is they need that extra chip on their shoulder. Like if you lose that game, you look at it, you come away from like, listen, both our 3rd string quarterback and our 4th string quarterback got knocked out of the game. Mm-hmm. We haven't really said shit about the 49ers. This is a very one-sided affair for whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah, I don't get, honestly, I mean, this is going to sound crazy. The 49ers on paper look stacked, right? At some point, the Legion of Boom wasn't Legion of Booming no more.
Yep.
So you think about it now, this is what, 4th, 5th year that the 49ers are going back in. How long has Nick Bosa been in the league? 4 years, 5 years now?
Yeah. Right.
So he's up for his fifth. Is he a free agent this year?
No.
So this has to be his 4th year.
I will look in a second.
Jake, look it up because I don't remember. Because if
I thought he was drafted in 2019.
2019, 19, 20,
So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. This is his 5th year.
This is his last. Yeah. He's on the option year. He'll be making
he's a free agent this offseason. So
we'll have to extend.
Yeah. So I say that to say this, like we still don't know what the back end on the secondary is like.
Mm-hmm.
Shit catches up with you at some point. And what has shocked me about this whole thing was the play where Hassan Reddick, how Purdy got hurt, wasn't a dirty hit. The complete out talk of, oh, it was 10 against 11. Like, how does that not rub some people in the locker room the wrong way? And it already goes to show you that what the front office is thinking about, because look who they paid the most money to day one of free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Javon Hargrave. So you got somebody who was on, not the shit that you talked about, right? The reason, one of the reasons why your quarterback wasn't in the game is now joining you, suiting up next with you, right next to you, and they made it a priority to get Hargrave. So when you do that, the one thing I love about the 49ers, a lot of it was all homegrown. It was all homegrown. Now it ain't. I mean, it's like the fall from grace is coming, bro. And I'm not saying the Cardinals are going to do it. I'm not saying the Rams are going to do it. But the Seattle Seahawks going to have something to say, but they already got one of the best secondaries on paper in the league. So I wouldn't, honestly, when we're looking 6 months ahead, right? 7 months ahead, I won't even be shocked if they don't even win their own division.
Depending
you know what I'm saying?
Quarterback, they might not even make the playoffs.
You talk all this shit to us. Y'all got your second, third circled on your schedule. You better worry about your own division. Worry about what's in front of you. Don't worry about what we doing over here 3,000 miles away, 3 hours ahead of y'all. You know what I mean? Don't why? Like, I can't. I can't. I'm trying to think. Another team who has rubbed me the wrong way like this after they lost.
Lions.
Nah. I remember the Saints. Because Saints just can't be classy in a win.
Vikings also, but it wasn't to this extent.
Right.
Yeah. It was
like it's like you going out your way to sit there and tell yourself reasons why y'all lost. Like you just lost. Use that as internal motivation to get back. But when you so outward and openly speak about it, it just doesn't make sense to me. And you got to pay Bosa. You got to pay Ayuk.
No, I think Ayuk's gone.
They picked up his 5th-year option, I thought.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to. You know how not plugged in.
That's what I'm saying. So they can't keep all this together. This is the last hurrah.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
He's gone. He'll be gone.
Because that Bosa contract's going to kill him.
I'm not concerned. Yeah. The Chiefs hold what we want. The Chiefs reach the prize that we are trying to attain.
Mm-hmm.
That is, for me, the most anticipated game of the year. Now, that's from real talk, sideline to sideline, inside those white lines, football talk. On a personal level, I want to trash the 49ers. Just because I just want to shut them up even more. You know what I mean? It's just, for one, San Francisco 49ers, listen, y'all don't have the personality of y'all city, because y'all city is not as hard as that. And first and foremost, y'all don't even play in San Francisco. Y'all play in Santa Clara. So, and San Fran is one of the cleanest cities, one of the nicest cities. They may got some shit out there, some crime, but it ain't like that. Your colors is red and gold. It's not even mean colors.
I do love the city of San Francisco. I don't know. I love it.
It's just frustrating, bro.
I know. So before I answer the poll question, let's get to some comments. Ryan Soap says, "My guys, good Friday evening. How y'all doing?" Chrome says, "What's up?" Ryan said, "Eagles nailed the draft. Got the best player in the draft. Also got a huge steal in Ringo." He disagrees with the poll. He says it's a regular season game. Win losses don't really make me feel all that hyped. It's a regular season. If it was the playoffs, yes, 49ers because of Debo. So I don't know what his answer is here. I guess none. But if it was playoffs, he's leaning toward 49ers. And he says, even saying that, it's not a playoff game facing a team I'm not all that hyped about. I want to face them in the playoffs. So a regular season game doesn't say much. It's what happens in the postseason. Marley Goldberg says, "Ain't nobody thinking about the 49ers." And Vespi says, "Good evening. Weird thing. I'm disturbed that we do not have a preseason game against the Jets." That is weird.
That's my heart.
That is weird.
That's like, I feel like that's an error that needs to be corrected ASAP.
It's the end of an era, man.
So we need to file a grievance with the league and make sure that gets corrected. So we will be right on that ASAP. To the poll question, I'm with Pete. I agree to this. I agree to the poll because I think out of all the opponents, I mean, how often does it work out where the two Super Bowl teams face each other in the following season? And I mean, I'm sure it has happened before, but probably not often, and not to the point where right now could possibly say, like, you don't see. It's really difficult to see a drop off for both teams, like them falling off like completely. So by this point of the season, both teams likely will be, as ranked as one of the better teams in the league. And so you got two highly competitive, highly talented teams going off against each other in a rematch of the previous Super Bowl. I think that is I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think both are coming off of a bye week. I know we are. I believe the Chiefs are too. So both teams get that extra week of rest, and that buildup is going to be awesome. So I do, and it's in prime time, obviously. So I do think that this is the most anticipated game. When it comes to the 49ers, I 100% agree with Pete. I think that all the noise is coming from them. Like, they don't really matter as much to us. We beat them, and they look pathetic with all the crying they're doing, all the whining. And you guys know, I've been with the 49ers ever since I was a kid. They were like my second team. I was a huge Jerry Rice fan, a huge Barry Sanders fan. So those two players I grew up, they were the first ones I gravitated toward. And then, so the 49ers, I always kind of carried them as my second team. The Lions not so much because they sucked. That's why I was more so a fan of Barry Sanders. But like the Niners in the Super Bowl with the Chargers, they won that. That was my first Super Bowl I watched. So I've been a fan of them. I've always been a fan of Kyle Shanahan. So him being their coach kind of like played out well, and I liked the players they were drafting. But I've done like a complete 180 on this team ever since we beat them because they haven't stopped crying, and I've lost a lot of respect for those players, for Ayuk, for Debo, for the freaking kicker. Kyle Shanahan hadn't said anything until the other day, and like I don't think it was more so. I didn't think his comments were as bad as the players' comments, but it's still like.
What did he say? I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
He said, I'm glad we're not playing the Eagles early in the year because I want to make sure we have our best QB. So he's kind of hinting that they expect Purdy to be in there. So that's kind of like but Kyle, like, doesn't really matter. Like,
so my question is like, what do they think would have happened if they beat us and they went to Kansas and they played Kansas City in the Super Bowl?
They think they would have won, obviously.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You can believe that all you want. Like, in your heart of hearts as a player,
I want you
as a
to,
competitor, 100% you can believe that in your heart of hearts. But to go out and say all these comments that you have been saying,
to go out their way and do it, that's the crazy.
Yeah, and so that's the crazy part. And so and then the Debo comments to me are the worst. His comments were the worst of all, saying, "Oh, the Eagles right now and that fan base are my most hated team because of all the crying, like the trash talk they do." The Eagles haven't said anything,
and if we said anything, it's in response to the shit that you started.
Yeah, like we had the players haven't said, like I haven't heard a peep out of the Eagles players after that first week. Like once it was the Super Bowl, like you haven't heard a peep from the Eagles players in retaliation to the Niners. Never heard anything. So I don't know what he's talking about. It's obviously we're living in his head rent free.
I do have the full Shanahan quote if you want me to read it.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can read it off.
So we posted this on our ATD socials. If you aren't following us there already, make sure you do so. Kyle Shanahan on the Eagles versus 49ers Week 13 game. I'm glad we're not playing in Philly Week 1. I want to play them at a better time. I want to make sure the whole team is right there. we feel like we didn't do it last time. I don't like going back to Philly again. My wife is bitter about it. He didn't like her fan experience in the stands, so she's not going this time.
Put your fucking wife in the fucking suite.
What are we doing?
I don't. It amazes me when players and coaches say, "Yeah, put him in the suite."
I like how he's worried about the fans in Philly, but not worried about the fans who go to Niners games who have been like shot outside and stabbed and all the other crap.
Nah, it's just
My thing is like, bro, like honestly, that's one thing that deters me so bad. Like, because if roles was reversed, you think the players, if you think an ex player is going to watch the game from the stands, or he's going to watch it in the suite, or he's going to be on the field.
Sweet.
Sweet.
So why are you putting it like?
Yeah,
You got somebody that's punching the clock 9 to 5 who's been looking forward to this.
Yes.
Sitting next to you, probably drunk already. And you're gonna put
I know. Hostile environment, playoff game, like NFC Championship game, like it's. I don't think
the fans have some decorum.
We've talked about it already before, but like all the crying from their fans and their players is so like laughable, and it's funny because I've also seen some 49ers fans on social media like say they had a blast, like they were all for the trash talk and everything, and because that's what you expect, because you're going to a visiting team in the playoffs, like you expect to roll out the red carpet, like so I think that when it comes to the Niners, they're not my most anticipated because I think right now they're beneath us, just like what you said, Pete. Like,
exactly.
It's like I don't. Like you really are making a huge deal. Like I don't think it's that huge of a deal. So if the 49ers want to say that this game against us is their most anticipated game, by all means. But to us, we have bigger aspirations. I'm more so focused on the Chiefs game. And to be honest, and I said it in the chat, I think the Seahawks are going to be our opponent in the NFC Championship game. So I have more anticipation for that matchup against the Seahawks than I am against the 49ers. I didn't hear. What did you say, PY?
Said be nice to finally beat the Seahawks.
Oh, it would be nice to finally beat them.
After like 6 million freaking almost wins with Wentz and the other guys.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I do like the Seahawks a lot, so I'm looking forward to that game. So let's look at the schedule. I'm gonna pull it up. But what as I do anyone else has any other takes in terms of what other game they're anticipating the most? Well, not the most, but other games they're anticipating throughout the schedule.
The 11 through 14 gauntlet is a problem.
I told you, Jake. I told you.
No, it'll be tight. It'll be tight, but I don't know.
Like
they got to play us too, though. That's the other thing,
right? And before the bye, it's week 7. I think that's the Dolphins week, right? Week 7 is that in Miami?
No, before the bye is week 9. We have a week 10.
No. I'm talking. We play Miami, the Miami game.
Oh, Miami week 7.
Week 7. Yep.
Yeah, right there.
So will Tua be playing that game?
I know Tyreek and Jalen Waddle will. Jalen Ramsey will. Xavier Howard will. Devin A. Chain. Who else did they get at running back now? Did they pick up somebody else?
No, they still have.
I thought they did.
They re-signed Mostert.
Right.
Okay.
And they have Jeff Wilson still. So
I don't know who their tight ends now, because they got rid of Gesicki, right? He went to New England.
Yeah. Who is it? Well, I know they drafted that one guy, the Elijah Higgins, they're moving from wide receiver to tight end, but I mean he's not gonna tight ends usually don't.
What's up, Marcus?
What's up, Marcus?
Marcus. So let's go down this schedule. I'll read off the games and then. Do you guys want to do like a win-loss thing, or you want to just just analyze the games as the matchups as we go?
I mean, we can, but I don't think it's needed.
Yeah,
necessarily.
It's early, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So week 1.
Well, so let's do this, Chuck, before you start. So let's just do a level of concern, scale of 1 to 5. This is very neutral, just on paper. Okay. So no wins, losses, just level of concern. 1 being not concerned, 5 being concerned.
Okay. I like that. So week 1, our season opener is against the New England Patriots. And what's funny about this is they are honoring Tom Brady at this game. I have no clue why they did that, but I mean the memes and the trolling is going to be so heavy that game.
Too expensive to go though.
I like a good 425 slot though. I do like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we had what 3 1 o'clock games.
3
and that's
1
it?
o'clock games.
That's bull. That's bull. It's not fair.
We got spoiled last year with all the 1 o'clock games we had.
I hate night games.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
just,
God.
well, that's what happens when you're the best
When
team in the
you're-
NFC, Pete.
Yeah.
I don't want.
That's what
Why can't I be the best team in the NFC with lots of 1 o'clock games?
Because there's really no other teams that can take those slots.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
How many
The conference stinks.
how many 1 o'clock games does San Fran have?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably more than 3.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, level of concern 1 to 5. Jake.
1. I'm
1.
not worried.
Okay.
I'm not worried.
PY.
Negative 65.
But I thought Mac Jones was your boy.
I liked Mac Jones as a rookie. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
More
Pete.
wins than Fields ever has.
I am a 3.5.
3.5.
And I'll tell you why. Because you're giving Billy Boy
Right.
time.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
I,
That's my only concern.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 3. So I'm close to you.
Okay.
I think that I'll say like a 2.5 or 3. So I'm like right in the middle. I think on paper we are absolutely still the better roster.
Mhm.
The only thing is like it's week 1 on the road, and you know how unpredictable week 1 can be because nowadays teams don't play their starters. Teams don't play their starters in the preseason.
Yeah.
So, that kind of evens the playing field a little bit if we have some rust. So that can pose a little bit of a concern. So that's why I'll say like a 2.5. But I do lean more toward Pete, where like, yeah, Bill Belichick, as much as like they've been mediocre ever since Brady left, Belichick is still Belichick.
Mhm.
So his defense is not the problem.
4 months to prepare.
And Christian Gonzalez. So yeah. All right, so week 2, Minnesota Vikings, the same week 2 opponent we had last year. We played them in prime time, but this time it's going to be prime time on Thursday night instead of Monday night. We got a quick 4-day turnaround between these two games, but we're playing at home now. So reverse order. Pete, scale 1 to 5.
0. I'm not worried.
Once again, I'm going to go 2.5 because obviously probably not going to have Dalvin Cook. You still have Justin Jefferson. You still have Kirk Cousins, who's a good regular season quarterback. But the biggest thing, once again, Brian Flores is now the DC. I mean, you can't and it's easier when you have the earlier games on your schedule because now obviously the players can't come to the facility and players and the coaches are not talking to each other. Fucking coaches is talking.
Mm-hmm.
These coaches are talking, and really, you got Kevin O'Connell is the head coach of Minnesota. Doesn't want shit to do with the defense, right? But they got rid of a lot on the defense too. But once again, it's like a 2.5. I expect them to win the game, but it's just not like I can just say book it because you don't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. PY, you said negative.
0. I'm not worried about Kirk freaking Cousins on prime time.
Jake.
Yeah, Pete stole my thunder. Kirk Cousins in prime time. That's a 1 for me.
I mean, it's Thursday.
Like that? Yeah, but just him in primetime games, he doesn't do
That's
well.
true.
I'll say like a 1.5.
Okay.
I'll give it a 1. I won't go all the way to 1, but I'll give it 1.5 because you guys say Kirk Cousins prime time. Yeah. They've done, but to me, even though they do have Brian Flores, so I'll give them that credit. And I think we'll see how Jordan Addison is week 2. Because I think he could be an upgrade from Thielen, because Thielen isn't Thielen, obviously. But I don't know how far along he's gonna be by that time. So they could have threats. They won't have Dalvin Cook. If they don't have Dalvin Cook and they don't bring anyone else, I mean, there's no one that really worries me in the running game. But their secondary isn't really anything again to be concerned about. Like, I think they haven't really done much this offseason to upgrade it. I think they're either so I think their secondary is just the same or even worse than it was last year. So for that reason, I think it'll be another not blowout, but I think our offense will roll again. So I'll give it like a 1.5. I think this is definitely a less concerning matchup for the Eagles than week 1. So
Yeah,
They also traded away Darius Smith.
I was just gonna say they just got rid of him too. So
Darius Smith too. Like, oh, yeah.
10 sacks, man.
God. All right, week 3 at Tampa Bay, Monday Night Football. I'm assuming we're doing Monday Night Football is gonna be a doubleheader because I'm looking at the start time.
Yeah.
7:15.
yeah.
So first of the doubleheader, Jake, 1 of 5.
This one's tough. Obviously, I know they don't have a solidified quarterback. I know they have Baker, but that defense concerns me because you have Vita Vea and now you have what's his name also in the middle, Kalijah Kancey in the middle, and then on top of that you have on the offensive side you have Mike Evans who always puts up numbers, and then you have Chris Goodwin. So we'll see. But just because they don't have a legit quarterback, I'll say like a 2.5. Give me 2.5.
Who I?
I'll say a 1. I mean, they have some good offensive
At
weapons.
least we're in the positive now with Pete.
I like Baker. I think he's a solid quarterback, but that team's just a mess from top to bottom.
Pete.
I don't say a mess. I mean, I don't know how Mike Evans and Chris Godwin has not asked to be out.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I
don't know why Chris Godwin signed that extension last year. Oh my God.
I mean, you want to get paid. You want to set up your family for generations. But
Get paid
Mike,
elsewhere. You're too good.
I hear you, but like Mike Evans is different. Mike Evans has made his money. I mean, Mike Evans would be perfect on like Pittsburgh. Him and George Pickens together.
Oh my God.
Him and Darnell Washington too.
Yeah, or Mike Evans and like the Chargers.
Right. So with this one, weird shit happens in Tampa, especially in September.
Mm-hmm.
The one saving grace is we have 11 days off between games.
Yeah.
So
it's only with
I'm gonna say a 2, just because.
Okay.
If Baker has to get in the ball. I mean, and the biggest thing is they have outside weapons. I'm not a believer in a tight end. The offensive line is not the same. But I mean, who's the running back? Rachaad White? Is that the lead back?
Yep, Rachaad White.
Yeah,
they're looking to get another veteran. They've been rumored to get be interested in Zeke, but obviously that's not in stone yet. So I'll say 1.5 or 2. Well, I'll say 2. I'll give him a little bit more respect. I'll say 2. I don't know why. I think it's like my concern level is just about like where it was with the Vikings. But like I said, we're on the road this time, so I'll give it a 2. Commanders at home. Our first 1 o'clock game. Yeah.
Both Commanders games are 1 o'clock. So 2 out of the 3 are the Commanders.
I guess Commanders. That shows what they think about our matchup with them.
Yeah.
Pete, 1 of 5.
0.5.
PY.
-45.
Back to the negatives. Jake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mr. Evans. I'm gonna go 0.5 as well.
I'll go 1.
Okay.
I'll go 1.
Really, Sam Howell is giving you a 1?
I like Sam Howell. I don't
Dude,
care
like,
what anybody says.
You're the one not following the rules. It's supposed to be between 1 to 5. Like I'm going as low as like technically we're supposed to go. So giving a 1 is it's saying something.
I'm a rebel without a cause.
5. Week 5 against the Rams.
Oh my God.
Who's their quarterback? Is it going to be Stafford?
Is it going to be Stafford?
As of right now, it's Stafford.
I guess so.
As of
Stafford,
right now.
Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Aaron Donald.
What's left of Cam Akers?
Yeah.
No Jalen Ramsey in the back end.
No. Yeah, that's what really took a hit. Their secondary
outside
took
of
a hit.
Aaron Donald, their defense is abysmal.
Yeah, it's not
Good
good.
defense.
It's not good at all.
I forget where we left off. Is it Jake
Oh.
or Pete?
It's Jake.
Yeah, it's me now.
Okay.
Van Jefferson too. I forgot they have Van Jefferson. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Marley on this one. Give me 1.5.
1.5.
I mean, it might be close early, but the Eagles will distance themselves at the end.
BY.
I'll
What
go with
negative are you-
I'll
what
go with
negative are you
2
giving off?
if Stafford is actually playing.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's assume Stafford's playing.
Yeah, but
Just
like
for-
go through this exercise assuming that the team is at their full strength.
Yeah.
Except for the Dolphins.
Yeah, 1.
So PY said 2. I'm gonna say 2.5, just because it's Aaron Donald. I mean, he's a top 10 defensive player of all time. So
Fair.
Yep. I'll say 2.5. Yeah, I'll say 2.5 as well.
Okay.
Jets.
Ooh.
We face the Aaron Rodgers led New York Jets in New York. 425.
Man, you're gonna hate me.
Pete, what do you think?
this is like a 4.
Yeah.
No.
This is like a 4 because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be revitalized. He has some weapons. The defense too. It's in New York. It's early in the season. I think where we can be had, and it's solid. And the defense is already decent as it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the offense, we kind of saw when Mike White was in there, it was okay. They put up some points, and now they have more weapons outside of that. Brees Hall coming back. I mean, the Allen Lazard.
Yeah, but I mean, Garrett Wilson.
Right.
You know, Garrett Wilson's like their number 1, so Allen Lazard coming there as a 2 is fine.
Yeah.
No.
But that man, Aaron, yo.
Aaron is dead. Whoever that is, I'm not worried about that guy.
Yeah, see this, and then
Here we
shenanigans like this below me.
Yeah.
I mean, we smacked him last year. I'm good. I'm not.
They didn't have a
worried.
team last year.
I don't care.
To be fair, we
It was
almost
Aaron
lost.
Rodgers on the Jets, not Aaron Rodgers on the Packers.
Yeah.
He's
So
not
PY,
like you know.
PY, I'm assuming you're going -5.
Negative 1,000. We've never lost to the Jets, and we never will.
Jake.
All right. Well, we're gonna get our first loss of the season. Anyway, Rodgers and Garrett Wilson are going to be filthy together. The only thing that really worries me more than anything, because I think we can handle their offense. It's just their defense that worries me so much.
Yeah.
That's a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams, CJ Mosley, Sauce Gardner.
God.
Yep.
I'm forgetting the safety's name, and they also got Jamel Dean.
Yeah, their defense as a whole is just loaded. Give me like a 4. Yeah, give me a 4.
So you're at 4 as well.
Yeah, because the offense is going to have to come up big in this game, I think, for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 3.5. So I'm in the ballpark with you. Us reasonable people are all in the same ballpark. 3.5. I think this could end up being our first loss.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I think a lot of it also depends on the a lot of it depends on the health of Brees Hall. How he's going to be coming back, because that's a special cat. So he's really, really good if he's back, but if he's back at full strength, then that's another really serious weapon. But I don't know, by week 6, I don't know if we'll be back to full strength. I'm not sure. So, I mean, they still got Carter, who's a good young running back, and they drafted Abanikanda. But overall, I think we still should be favored. But I think 3.5 out of 5 would be my concern level.
Okay. They don't have the kid from Jacksonville no more that they traded for.
James Robinson.
No, the running back.
No. Robinson's in New England.
New England.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's on a hated there.
All running backs hated there. I didn't know, real quick, just because you touched on that, I didn't know that Damian Harris, when he signed with the Bills, he made an Instagram post and he said, "Finally free."
Oh, did he?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they don't like running the ball over there. They don't.
God.
Or they're just not giving you. It just
Yeah.
fluctuates so much from week to week.
Yeah, it's random from week to week. Here we go. Week 7, Miami Dolphins. Jake, 1-5, and this is at home, not in Miami, so we're not in the sweltering heat.
It's going to be
South
still
Florida.
probably humid as shit.
Yeah, it's still going to be.
humid, but-
It might still be a little bit warm.
That's still hurricane season.
8:20.
So it's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it'll be close, but Miami's defense doesn't really worry me that much. Their offense, on the other hand, obviously, it's nothing but speedsters, so that's probably going to end up playing a lot of zone. It depends on what the size game plan is, but all things being equal, I'm going to say about I'll give them a 3. I'll say a 3.
Right, okay. Oh my God, I'm afraid to ask. PY.
2.5 if Tua is playing, -45 if he's not. I mean, you don't know with Tua. Like his brains could be like on the floor by that point.
Pete.
I am going to go 3.75.
3.75.
So you're little
three and 3.75 stars, like Ed McMahon used to say on
so
Star.
you're a little less concerned about the Dolphins than you are about the Jets.
Not so much the offense, the quarterback. And the reason why I say the quarterback is because, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you get the Tua, there's a chance.
Oh, yeah.
There's a chance.
100%.
And also, it comes down to, I like Mike McMahon. His name is Mike McMahon, right? The coach.
Mike.
No.
Chucks, what's his name? The
What's
former
his name? Mike something.
former
Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel.
McDaniel.
That's it.
Yeah,
Mike
sorry.
McDaniel.
Yeah.
I think he's a good offensive minded coach, but like Chuck said, the defense, not so much. And with the Jets, it's just a little bit different. Better quarterback, better defense, not as a potent as an offense, but the quarterback running the show is just better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's just how I'm looking at it from my standpoint.
Okay. I'm going to stay at 3.5.
Okay.
I think their speed really does worry me. Like it's a track meet, like with them, and then the fact that they got A-Chain, that's insane. Like,
Yeah.
that's
And a
lot.
very simple run scheme too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
So his hips and fluidity or lack of fluidity is not as important.
Because he's just gonna be outside zone. Like you just gotta bend and go. Just So that was we'll touch on the A-Chain pick in the second half when we talk about picks that we loved, but that offense worries me. The defense not so much. I have the same amount of concern about them as the Jets because, again, you're trading off the defense for that offense. I'm more worried about the Dolphins' offense than I am about the Jets. I'm less worried about the Dolphins' defense than I am about the Jets. We are at home compared, but like overall, I think it's like for me, it's just similar. I think these two opponents in the AFC East are sneaky going to be good. Sneaky good. Week 8. Commanders again. Again, are we just going to keep it? I forget what it was before. I think I had a 1. So are we just keeping the same thing? Go down the line. Compete?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 1.5 because it is a little tough.
Oh, it's in the trash dump of FedEx Field. Yeah, that's right.
That and then also you're seeing the same team within a 4-week span.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so week 9, Dallas Cowboys. First matchup against the hated rival Cowboys. 425 slot. We are at home. So Jake.
As much as I hate the Cowboys, I'll give them their respect. And the fact that it's a division rival, you never know. Give me a 4.
PY.
I'll say a 3.
Okay.
Just because their head coach is calling plays and
Fair point.
4.
Pete.
Okay.
I think they're gonna miss Kellen, man.
You said 4, Pete? I couldn't hear you.
Yep.
I'm sorry. 4. Yeah, I'll say 4. I'll say that the most concerned game I have up to this point is probably the Cowboys at 4. All right, so bye week, and then we get into the Chiefs game. What half of us thought,
like I saw the schedule and I was just like, this is Sparta. Like,
yeah,
this
exactly.
This is the gladiator.
Yep.
This
8:15 Monday Night Football, week 11. Both teams coming off a bye week. What Pete and I believe.
Oh, both are coming off a bye week?
Yeah, like fucking sneaky NFL.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Bye week at the same
I
time.
swear to God, no one pays attention.
I didn't know
I
that.
mentioned that earlier.
All
But
right.
yes, both are off bye week, so they're both going to be rested. That build up anticipation. We'll go with Pete because we had the bye week. So Pete, 1 to 5.
Pete, PY or me?
Pete, you. OG.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just reading John Addict's. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait that. Hopefully he can wait a little bit. I still like him on the field, John. 5.
Yeah.
This is 5.
Yeah, 100%.
I hear people saying they disagree with it. It's a regular season. It's not. See, once again, you're not thinking outside the box. This is the litmus test.
Mm-hmm.
How Chuck said we said our poll question. If we disagree because they're our rear view, but San Fran, if you ask a San Fran, what's our most anticipated game? The same thing. Kansas City is us in that situation. We're San Fran. We're in their rear view because they beat us.
Yep.
For whatever right, wrong, or indifferent reasons, they beat us. They had the Lombardi. We don't. We need to prove it to ourselves that we can do it.
I will say
it's also fucking in Arrowhead.
Yeah, I will say though, to that, I don't think it's nearly on the same level as us with the Niners. Because I think the Chiefs absolutely know that it could have gone either way that game. And I think they realize that, like, hey, we won by like a hair against the Eagles. And I think that they see us as like definite threats to them. And that's they probably anticipate us to be in the Super Bowl again. And obviously apparently hopefully with them. So this could be, I think, in their eyes, another rematch, or a preview of the Super Bowl. So I don't think we're in the rear view, but it's like we're in the back seat of that rear view mirror. We're not like in another car, or like a few things back. So, PY
5.
Okay, thank God.
It's the Chiefs, man. Like all the other people, I cannot sweat. It's the Chiefs.
Jake,
baby, go.
Yeah, it has to be. It can't be anything else than 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, there's no animosity between the two fan bases. Maybe a couple sour grapes on the Eagles side, but other than that, there's no animosity between Eagles fans and Chiefs fans.
Very respectful. Yeah. It was a very, very respectful kind.
Like even on Twitter after the Super Bowl, like obviously you had a couple trolls or whatever, but other than that, Chiefs fans were fine.
Yeah.
My big thing, like more than anything, you're giving Andy Reid another week to prepare, and we know exactly what that means. Mm-hmm. He never loses off a bye week. I mean, he has before
at home too,
but it never happens. Never happens.
Yep.
So, again, this is going to be the measuring stick. We played well against them last year. Probably should have won, but neither here nor there. If they win though off a bye week against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and company, in my opinion, all bets are off. All bets are off because then every Eagles fan's walking with their chest out high and it just talking shit the entire season. But
if they win this game, it's every Sixer fan how we were on
after Game 5.
Oh, yeah, after Game 5, which was
Yeah.
Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is every Sixers fan Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Back when my mental
it's
health
just
was strong.
it's 5. Again, obviously injuries can happen. You're talking about week 11, but projecting everyone's healthy. Yeah, it has to be 5. Has to be 5.
Obviously, I want to say 5. I think that it's again most anticipated game of the whole season. I'm gonna lie it, and I will say this: I think we're gonna lose, but if it's anything like the Super Bowl and we still lose, I am not going to be worried at all.
Mhm.
Like I, not even like the only way I'd be worried is if we had a rash number of injuries coming out of this game, but that's with every single game. But like losing a close one to the Chiefs again in Kansas City off of a bye week is nothing to be ashamed about to me. So I'm not trying to put up like excuses already. I'm just saying like the Chiefs are the cream of the crop for a reason.
Yep.
And you're getting a fully healthy Patrick Mahomes too. Remember, Mahomes wasn't fully healthy in the Super Bowl,
It was
so
not.
that played a factor too. So assuming that he's fully healthy, yeah, this is going to be a slugfest once again. So no shame if we lose it, but we'll see. Week 12, Buffalo Bills, 425 at home. Thank God, at home. Jake.
Give me a 3.5. Just because their defense is good. Their defense is good. The only reason I go 3.5 is just because Josh Allen is so prone to turning the ball over. And I think with our defense and us pressuring them as much as we will, I think that's just going to be the difference maker.
Yeah. PY.
I'll go 3 because obviously they have Josh Allen. He's really good, but their defense doesn't really scare me. And in the last few years, the second half of the seasons where Josh Allen kind of dips a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Pete.
This is going to shock you. 2.5.
Wow.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at it now, and this is one of the first ones I wanted to take a look at. It didn't really matter when we played the Chiefs because we're both coming off a bye. So these are the games right before for the Bills before they play us. Sunday, November 5th at Cincy. Monday, November 13th versus Denver. Sunday, November 19th at home against the Jets. Then us. So that's kind of like the same thing. You have a major divisional game the week before us, and it's at 425.
Mm-hmm.
So you're traveling, and you got Cincy. So this is coming off of that lull, right? Because right after us, they have their bye week.
Yep.
So that's why I say where they're falling on the schedule, and where we're falling on the schedule for them, it's a little bit different. We have already had our bye. Now, this changes. This does change if we win the week before. If we win the week before, it could be a trap game.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
If we win week 11, then it goes to like a 5.
Yeah, sure.
But if we also, and that's another thing, if we lose week 11, like we think that the majority of us are thinking that, then yeah, we're like we can't drop 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good points. I agree. I'll say like I'll go with I'm like flip flopping between 3.5 or 4, so I'll be in like that range-ish. I have so much respect for Josh Allen, for Sean McDermott. Contrary to what PY says, I do think that defense schematic wise is going to still be very sound. So I'm not gonna say they worry me, but I don't think they're trash. I don't think a Sean McDermott led defense is going to be trash. So yeah, I mentioned Damian Harris. They have a running back now who is a legit like between the tackles runner. Like
Yep.
so if they finally choose to run the ball, they can with Harris. I'm not saying he worries me. I'm just saying he now gives them an option to be a little bit more balanced, and that can make all the difference in the world. So, yeah, I'll give it I'll settle at 3.5. I think I am at with the Bills. Week 13, Niners. This is also in Philly. 4:25 start, December 3rd. Pete.
3.
PY.
3.
Jake.
Yeah, I'll say 3.
Yeah, I'll say 3. Well, we're all. Is that the first time you all agreed?
I think so. Well, that and the Chiefs game, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the Chiefs game. That was obvious. Yeah. 3. I think it's. You respect how good that roster is outside the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Real quick, so they have Seattle on the 23rd, and then they have us, and then they have Seattle again right after us.
Oof.
Oh.
So the one thing I just don't like, they have 3. So they played Seattle that I'm assuming that Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had that whole full week. And then they have 10 days off.
They will have rest, yeah. So that might cancel out them having to travel to Philly, because if they have all that time, that travel time and difference probably won't be as big of a factor. So, and it's at 4:25. So week 14, Dallas Cowboys in Arlington, AT&T Stadium, Sunday night football. Jake, where you at with it?
I'll say like a 3, just because again, I get they're at home, but there's no real home field advantage when it comes to Jerry World. And I think we're going to split with the Cowboys regardless, and I think this might be the game where we split.
Yeah. PY.
I'll go 3.
Pete.
3.5, just because Dak in that stadium, Dak actually plays well.
Yeah.
and definitely against us.
Yep.
I think I'll say 3. I think to me it just depends. I'm with Jake. I think we split with the Cowboys. I don't whichever if we win or lose that week 9 game, I think the opposite will happen with this game. So it's going to be the same amount.
That's going to be tough coming off playing San Fran.
San Fran, yeah. And then Dallas, yeah. So we'll see. Week 15. Oh, I'm excited for this one. Week 15, 4:25. This is in Seattle. In Seattle. So Pete, 105.
Whatever I just gave the previous game, add a 0.25 to it, just because it's fucking Seattle.
So 3.75.
Yeah, just one of those crazy things happen in Seattle, bro. Like you gotta, if you win in Seattle, you gotta go in there and take it.
Yep. Yeah.
You gotta go in there and take it. And then from the previous 4 games that we had, just the state of the team, man. Health wise, mental toughness wise, you see where they're at.
Yep. PY.
I'll say 3.
Wow, it's underselling it. Jake.
See, it's tough. Again, Russell Wilson's not there anymore. I don't know if Geno Smith is going to have the magic he had second straight year. We'll see, but they got to get their monkey off their back at some point. But still, give me like a 3.5.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 4. Again, I think this is the. I'm tempted to even go 4.5. This is I think the second best team in the NFC. I mean, their offense is loaded, guys. Their offense is freaking loaded, and their defense is starting to take shape. They're going to run the ball, and they can run the ball with 2 highly talented running backs now. 2 of them. Their wide receiver trio could be the best wide receiver trio in the game. Could be, and oh man. That's scary, and it's in Seattle. If it was in Philly, then I wouldn't be as worried. But in Seattle, yeah, I might go now 4.5. That's going to be really good.
This is why the sneakiest key addition for us is Olamide, whatever his name is, because if he is an improvement over Quest all day.
Yeah.
All day.
I wonder if, because I wonder if they'll play sides or if they'll match up, because Tariq Woolen is bigger, but he's got the elite athleticism. I'm assuming they ideally want to be matched up with AJ, but I don't know if they'll play sides or have him follow. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And then Devin Witherspoon, obviously. Oh my god, that defense. It's so good.
Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs too, man.
Oh
You can't.
God. Oh my god.
That's why I said that secondary. When you just look at those four.
Yep. Exactly.
And now they got Bobby Wagner back in the middle.
Yeah. Week 16, Giants on Christmas Day, 4:30. Where did I leave off? I left off with Jake, right? So Jake.
Yeah. Give me 0.5. You wrap this up by halftime and we can go to bed. Giants freaking stink.
PY.
I'll be nice. 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
Out of respect to my one Giants friend, 0.5.
Pete.
I'm gonna go 2 because I just don't know what they're playing for at this point because I know their schedule is not favorable to them.
Right.
It is not.
But I'd like they're a better team than Washington in that sense. So I give Washington 1, so I'm gonna give them a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna. It's the Giants. I see you on that. I do think the Giants are a better team than Washington, but I don't know. It's Christmas Day.
Daniel Jones.
It's Christmas Day.
You know what?
I have a hard time believing in Philly on Christmas Day, the Eagles are going to lose to the Giants. I've got
myself with Christmas lights.
I've got him at a 1. I would go lower, but the rules technically say 1 to 5, so I'm going to give it the lowest concern rating. I'm going to go 1.
What they should do, and I saw Fox Sports on Twitter post this, that they suggested the Giants should wear their red jerseys and the Eagles should wear green jerseys.
Oh, yes, they absolutely should.
If there's a time to break out the Kelly green jerseys, that would be perfect on Christmas.
Well,
can we wear them all the time now? Or
the Kelly green jerseys are probably going to be used like 3 or 4 times during the season, but that should absolutely be one of the times I use them.
Yeah,
absolutely. Jake. I think that if that doesn't happen now, I'm gonna be pissed.
Just don't do the blackout games anymore. I don't get it.
I love the blackout games. What are you talking about? Those are funeral games, baby.
I can't believe I'm with PY with this. I love the blackout.
Oh my god! All the best moments are in the blackout games. How are you not on board with this?
I love. Yeah, the all black is the best.
The 27-0 game versus the Giants, where Malcolm Jenkins picks off Eli. Are you kidding me? Oh,
Darren Sproles goes off. Oh my god, that was great. Yeah, we're undefeated in the black uniforms against the Giants.
I just don't like the pinstripe down the side of the leg. I just want it to be all black.
That should be black. It should be all black. It should be all black. I hate the pinstripe.
That's why we should be college, where we have 45 different uniforms.
But
you mean Oregon?
I agree with you. But the NFL is so damn.
Yes, I want to be Oregon. I want to be Oregon, where I can have I can change my uniform in the second half and just come out and just
exactly. PY, this might be the number one thing we've ever agreed on. Goddamn.
It's just simple. It's the dumbest thing. They're like, well, you can't wear the Kelly green jerseys because the helmet doesn't match. Who gives a rat's ass?
It makes no sense. You would think they'd want more jerseys because that means more
revenue.
Right.
And more revenue.
Right.
I would buy, you know how many different jerseys I would buy of a running back or Jalen Hurts if they had freaking so many different variations? I'd buy so many. I would lose out on so much money.
Still gotta get my Mariota jersey.
My God. Yes. Oh my God. PY and I probably have never agreed on something more than that. That's insane.
It's just simple things.
The simple things. Week 17, Arizona Cardinals. Talk about an underrated, anticipated game of the season. Going against Week 17 against Jonathan Gannon's Cardinals. Pete, what do you think?
Negative. I'm doing a PY. Negative. negative 1,000. Because DeAndre's probably D-Hop's probably not gonna be on the team by then.
Oh, God. Marley does agree. Definitely should wear Kelly Green on Christmas Day. Yeah. PY.
Negative infinity.
Shit.
Jake.
I'm gonna say 1, just because I think by week 17 we'll have most of our positioning in the postseason wrapped up. So I don't know necessarily who we're going to be playing or what we're going to be playing for. Even same thing with Arizona. They might be out of the playoffs at that point. So we'll just be like, what the hell's the point?
Marcus Mariota, throw for 400, run for 100. I don't care. And we can call it from years from now, the Mariota game.
Oh my God. That would be hilarious.
That would be so funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
He's finally illegal.
I'll say 1 because I'll be the guy that's
still.
I'll just say 1. And then the final game.
Get in, lover.
18. Like, okay, this isn't. Remember, the game. This segment isn't about if we think we'll win or lose. This is our level of concern.
Yeah.
In this matchup, it's week 18. Do any of us really think we'll be playing our starters? So I think this is an NA. I think there's no way we can really.
Somebody said not applicable.
Not applicable. It's
not applicable.
Yeah, there's no way. So, So the Giants. I think the Giants could beat us here simply because they'll be playing their starters versus.
I don't even think Daniel Jones will be playing at this point.
Probably not.
That'd be really fun. All right.
Well, for what they're paying him, probably.
That's the rundown of the Eagles' schedule. It's going to be very, very fun the first half of the season, and then we get into a lot of tough matchups out of that bye. But before we put a wrap on the Eagles' schedule, hey guys, we're partnered up with Philly Trip. What's the name of them? Philly Sports Trip. Sorry, Philadelphia 545 Sports Travel Company. Premium travel and tailgating experience for the passionate fans of Philadelphia. And they've got a little message for you. So we just went over the Eagles schedule. And we've run over all the road away games. So if you're interested in attending some of those away games, watch this.
Hey, Birds fans.
Did that go? Wait, hold on.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
Awesome stuff from Philly Sports Trips. So make sure to hit them up. Remember, mention A2D. So, gentlemen, anything else for the schedule before we dive into draft talk? We might start
Tanner probably.
All right, draft talk. Before we get into draft talk, let's see, Mr. Pete Evans, can you read off for us? Try to pick a sponsor. Which one is the sponsor?
Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. I think his locations are Burlington and Cherry Hill. He's our doc. When we act here, when we 40 years old, 35, 37 now, maybe 30, maybe staring into the screen like PY below me. But when you get strains, muscle, neck, ankles, anything, Achilles, he's the person you need to go see to get back on your feet, to get out there to doing the same stupid shit again. Rinse, wash, or repeat. Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Vidal, our doc, make them yours. Also, still sometimes an occasional guest on the flagship show, A2D, on Sunday night. So, specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
All right, gentlemen. We haven't been able to talk draft ever since the draft ended.
Ever since the actual draft.
Yes, it's an actual draft. Let's dive into the Eagles draft class first. I think we all know the picks by now. So, how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to talk about? Do we need to break down each pick, or do you want to talk about it as a whole? We'll talk about your favorite pick. I'll let you. You know what? I'll let you guys just say what you want about the Eagles draft class. So whoever wants to go first, time's yours.
Okay, Andy. I'll be short.
PY, you weren't on. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'll be short. It was just an A+. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say about it. I think that's it for me.
PY, I know you weren't on live with us the first night, and we all know that your guy that you wanted the most was Jalen Carter. So the fact that we got him, how many tears of joy did you cry that night?
Every pick that went by till 9 was like an emotional roller coaster. I'm like, oh, he's gone at 5. He's gone at 5. Nope. They went Devin Witherspoon. Oh, he's gone. Nope. I'm like, I was so excited. I was losing my shit. The fact that you only had to give up a 4th round pick to get arguably the best player in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to have him here. And then the other guy I would have gladly taken at 10, I get at 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Are you serious? And then I get a stud guard from Alabama. Then we get your guy, Mr. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then are you kidding me? We get Kelly Ringo in the 4th round?
That's insane to me.
That's crazy.
Like that's value, man.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like obviously, McKee, whatever. I don't give a crap. Some people had him like as a top 100 prospect, so I see the value, whatever. Like the crazy part to me is that like even if you look at the undrafted dudes, they got Eli Ricks.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, Eli Ricks, Kelly Ringo, and Jalen Carter were all viewed to be top 10 picks at the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
What kind of noise was that?
I don't know. I think he was trying to laugh.
That was his Paul Dano Riddler impression.
Yeah.
God.
Does he know?
Oh my God. Well, yeah.
I just it's arguably a perfect draft for the most part, but I just you talk about value, right? And I think that's a big theme with this draft, talking about getting Jalen Carter, who for a lot of people was the best player in this draft at 9. Nolan Smith, who a lot of people projected as like a top 10, top 15 pick. You get him at the tail end of the 1st round. Tyler Steen, I wasn't that high initially on the pick, but then I saw Hollis Thomas break him down on our Thursday night show, and he's a big fan.
Yeah,
he's a big fan of Tyler Steen. So,
yeah.
And then just the fact that you get to put him with why am I forgetting his name? Stoutland. It's just such a beautiful marriage. And then Sidney Brown, the Eagles had him as a Red Star prospect, which is like gets into like character, leadership, and just ability on the field. And they didn't think he would be there in the 3rd round. Kelly Ringo, I wasn't a big fan of, who initially was projected as a late 1st, early 2nd round pick. But in the 4th round, you can't complain with the value and the talent that you're getting from him. And the fact that he gets to learn behind James Bradbury and Darius Slay, it just adds more to it. And Tanner McKee, I mean, they said he's the most accurate quarterback in the draft, but again, it doesn't really mean anything. We already have one. Moro Ojamo, I'm actually really interested in. Daniel Jeremiah had him projected as like a top, I think, 115, like top 100 prospect, and he fell all the way to the 7th round. So again, going back to the theme of value, it's just ridiculous. And then Pete touched on undrafted free agents. It's just, and then just to add the little icing on the cake, you have other GMs being upset that like, oh, they're talking about Howie Roseman too much. Well, draft better.
Talk less.
Draft better. Like you want the media to stop talking about Howie Roseman. Draft better. It's just it's that simple. you're possibly talking about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just right on the list that I'm looking at as far as like potential starters in this draft. Or not even starters, just guys that can contribute.
1, 2, 3.
Because
4.
Ringo, I'm figuring he's going to sit for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
Tanner McKay, he's not going to see much time. But the rest of them, I just think you're going to get value day one. And Sidney Brown, they're saying he'll likely start day one, which I would expect him to.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't start day one.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And Tyler Steen, I think at this point, well, I shouldn't say at this point, after training camp in the preseason, I think they're going to name him the starting right guard, which I think is their plan for him.
They could.
And again, that's not a knock on
Jurgens.
Yeah, not a knock on Jurgens. It's just they want him to be the center of the future, and that'll likely be his spot next year with the reports that Kelsey's studying broadcasting and all that after football.
I think Jurgens. I think Jurgens.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting. What?
No, he's what do you call it? He's what do you call it? He went out to Los Angeles to.
He's a natural, bro. New heights.
Oh yeah,
He
has the podcast, and then if he's an analyst, it's just going to be insane. But yeah, it's just again getting to value. It's just crazy value, crazy amounts of talent, and the thing is too, they're not done yet. Knowing Howie Roseman, he's not done yet. So when was the CJ Gardner-Johnson move? August. Yeah. So we could get a move a couple days before opening day. So Howie's always working the phones. Howie's always busy, and he said it after the draft too. He's like, we're not. This isn't the final roster. We still have talent we feel like we can add. But all that being said, this is what 3 great drafts in a row from Howie Roseman.
Yep.
And I think by far with all the talent that you got in this draft, I think this is the best one. And then you have all those draft picks that you have next year. I think now you have 10.
10.
So in reality, Howie's going to make a couple more trades because I don't see him holding on to 10 picks next year. There's no way. There's no shot.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest surprise, and we talked about it on the first night, was the fact that he stood pat at 30 because we all anticipated he was going to trade it knowing Howie to get more assets, and he took the best player available, and that's all you can ask for. And that's you can't complain about the draft at all. You really can't.
Yeah. You guys pretty much covered like a lot of it. There's really not much I need to add. I just wanted to go more into detail about the Sidney Brown pick. I've talked ad nauseum about him already. How much I wanted him for the Eagles. I ended up, when we did our rankings, I ended up having him as my 5th ranked safety. But when I talked about him, I said, I think in terms of for the Eagles, he's still a perfect fit for what we want, for what we're looking for what we need. And so when you're drafting in a vacuum, when you're evaluating in a vacuum, sure, he's my 5th ranked safety. But do I want a Chris Smith who's only like a post safety to be the perfect for the Eagles? No, because Chris Smith can't play slot. He can't play in the box, which is what our safeties are going to need to do. So, Chris Smith went in like the 6th or 5th round or something like that too. It's crazy. But yeah, in terms of the Eagles, it was Brian Branch, Quan Martin, and then Sidney Brown, the safeties I wanted the Eagles to target, and they took Sidney Brown 3rd round. There's been a lot of I won't say a lot. There's been some pushback by some people in the media. I know that what's his name? Does Inside the Birds with Moshe.
Kaplan.
Kaplan. I know Kaplan was on. He was regurgitating, coach talk, saying that he doesn't play slot, which is false. I know that Ben Solak, who again I love, wasn't as high on Sidney Brown. He wanted the Eagles to target Sidney Brown in the 4th or 5th round, so he doesn't see Sidney Brown as like a starting level safety. And I think there are some others that weren't as high on Sidney. I don't agree with them, obviously. I think I'm higher on Sydney because I think that, one, I already talked about, in terms of scheme fit, he fits exactly what you need, what this defense asks the safeties to do. And two, I think what people are worried about is his coverage. You know what I mean? Like, he's so jacked up that I think they believe he's not going to be as good in coverage because with him being a little bit rocked up, his movement skills, change of direction, hips might not be as loose type of thing. And so, like, you have guys who are concerned, okay, like, can you match him up in the slot against slot receivers? Probably not. I think he'll struggle against the shifty, quick slot receivers, the smaller types. But if you watch him in Illinois, he matched up against tight ends all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring him down against tight ends. He did really well. Who was a tight end it was in the Senior Bowl or one of the games? Was it Laporta or someone else that he totally shut down in coverage? And so I think that the talk about his inability, Mr. Kaplan, his inability to play slot is overblown. I think he can play the slot. It just depends on who he's matched up against. That's the type of context you have to really ask yourself. And he does everything. He can line up at different areas of the secondary and play well. And then obviously he's just a great leader, locker room guy, high character guy. I don't know if you guys watched that special of him and Chase about their story, about their background getting to the league. It's something you definitely have to watch. It's a great story. It makes you really root for those two, for him and Chase. So the fact that we got one of the Brown twins on the Eagles, I'm ecstatic about. I loved that pick. Obviously, it's my favorite Eagles pick because it's someone I wanted them to target. But overall, like, it's that the draft was just Howie letting the board come to him and saying, "Oh, this talent is falling. We're gonna take him." Oh, Georgia, another Georgia defender, the best college defense in college football history. Okay, I'll take another Georgia defensive player. Like,
Right.
It's so simple in essence of what, like, we've been wanting him to do. You know? It's just so simple. So I'm ecstatic over the Eagles draft class. Anything else regarding the Eagles draft class that you guys wanted to cover?
No. Nope.
Okay, let's turn to the league as a whole. So obviously, Eagles weren't the only ones drafting. There was a lot of other picks, other great picks, some other bad picks. So let's go around, and let's talk about some of our favorite picks. So let's talk about some of our favorite picks first. So, Jake, name one of your favorite picks out of the draft. Any round.
It has to be one of my favorites. I'll talk about him because I've been reaping his praises for a while. Adetomiwa Adebawore in the 4th round to the Colts is ridiculous value. He's going to be a really good player. He's similar to like a Brandon Graham type. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest or anything like that, but he gets to the quarterback and he gets the job done. Another one that I was a big fan of on night one was the Texans trading up and getting Will Anderson along with CJ Stroud. You're talking about two of the best players in the draft and getting two blue chip franchise type players on both sides of the football is just it's perfect for what they're trying to do.
All right, let's talk about that one actually. PY, what did you think about the Texans trade?
I thought it was utterly insane, but hey, it helped us out.
Fair enough.
Pete, what did you think about the trade?
Shocking, aggressive. I like it.
Didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. The aggressiveness, get the quarterback you want, get arguably the best. Well, I would say this, the highest floor guy out of any position of the blue chip players, the highest floor.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean, if CJ Stroud hits and you got Will Anderson there, I mean that's two cornerstones of your organization for the next 8 to 10 years.
Mhm.
They were that aggressive in the final game.
I will disagree, but like I'm undecided yet if it's how adamant of a disagree it is. I find the trade by the Texans kind of questionable.
Huh?
Like I feel like they were kind of backed into a corner a little bit. I feel like their front office was divided. And I feel like this was them saying, okay, we'll compromise and we'll just get both. I think half of them didn't want Stroud. They wanted Will Anderson. The other half didn't want Will Anderson. They wanted a quarterback. So I think this is them saying, hey, we have assets. Let's just freaking take both. Which if you're that high on Will Anderson and you believe that much in CJ Stroud, or you honestly just want a quarterback that bad, okay, all right, I get it. But I don't know that they gave up. So they moved up from 12 to 3,
Mhm.
and they gave up the second pick in the second round and got, what was it, pick 105. I think that was a fourth round pick or something. And they gave up their pick, their own pick in 2024, and a third round pick. I get it for you. You get a blue collar guy, so that's where I'm a little unsure, because you get a blue chip guy, in Will Anderson, and I get that you getting one of those is very valuable. But that 2024 first round pick for them could still have been like a top 5, top 10 pick.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like
Yep.
that's a high pick.
Yeah.
So like I don't know that, knowing that, I find it very questionable. I think I have to see how it plays out, and that's unfair I admit that's unfair to a point, because that's me putting hindsight is 2020. And so me saying, oh, but look where the pick ended up. I get it. At the spur of the moment, like right now during draft night, you don't know where your pick's going to end up. And if you believe you're getting talent, then obviously you believe you're going to be a good team, and you believe your pick's not going to be in the top 5 or the top 10. So I understand that logic. But looking at their team, I still don't think I still think it's a bottom of the league roster.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me not to see their picks still at bottom 5. Yeah, I don't know. I think they gave up too much, even for Will Anderson. I get it. That's just what my gut tells me, but I could be eating crow. I could eat crow at the end of the day. Will Anderson could be a future Hall of Famer. CJ Stroud could be like a top 10 QB for the next 10 years, and they both could help lead the Texans to multiple division titles and playoff appearances. So I could be wrong. I absolutely could be. But just my gut instinct, actually looking at that trade, I don't know if I would have done it. I don't know if I would have done it, to be honest. Cool. PY. PY. Some of your favorite picks from the draft.
Richardson, man.
Oh, to the Colts.
I'm so excited. QB1, baby. I'm so excited to watch him. He's going to be so much fun. Like, you're already starting to hear great things about him in the building, and he's barely been there. Like, he is like, if Steichen had fun with Hurts, he is gonna have so much. He's gonna have so much fun with Richardson, because obviously it's like it's not the same guy, but it's just like the intangibles are similar, and I think they're in similar mindsets and the type of person they are.
Yeah.
I also liked. I love JSN to the Seahawks. Sadly,
Right. I forgot about that.
My God. That's a great pick.
I mean,
that's
the
another
Cowboys
reason
drafted
why.
Mozzie Smith. That's a really big deal.
Anyone else?
I do really like Hendon Hooker to
Yeah.
Detroit. I
On
do
my
really
list
like
too.
that.
He's on my list too. Yeah.
They said they might redshirt him this year just because of his knee, which is fine, which is totally fine.
He was getting redshirted anywhere he went.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That knee's like Carson Strong level right now.
Yeah, he'll what do you call it? He'll be fine. Amazing talent. If it wasn't for that knee injury, I think he'd be another first-round pick. The one, I guess you could say, that disappointed me would be Gibbs. I just thought it was too high, in my opinion.
So I think someone mentioned them. If you want to, let's see.
Yeah,
Ryan said, I see Christian Gonzalez being the defensive. I see Gibbs being the offensive rookie of the year. Gibbs is going to be used an amazing amount of times, all different ways.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. And again, it's nothing against Gibbs. It's not. I'm not saying he's not going to be good, but it's just
at 12
for the type of running back that he is. That was
a massive draft.
I think that's way too high. And then you saw him in the war room. They're all excited, thinking like he wasn't going to be there. Like
he's going to be there at like 30.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Like this is where like I don't know. The Gibbs thing was surprising. As we said on that night, like I get it if that's someone they really, really, really wanted. Like if they had to have Gibbs, then I don't mind them making sure they got him.
Yeah.
I'm just my whole pushback was like they really thought he was going to go top 10 because that's what they said. They were like, we're surprised he dropped out of the top 10. Like, did they really think he was going to go before Bijan?
Yeah, I guess they didn't.
Rumors were that they were ready to pick him at 6. So I don't know, yo. Like I have a hard time believing. Now, would he have been there at 30? I don't know. I can't say that for sure. I don't know. Like it's very possible he could have been picked in the early 20s or late teens. So at 12, I understand if you really wanted him, get him. I don't blame a team for doing that for a prospect they really want. It's just shocking because that's the first time I even heard a little sprinkle of news that Gibbs was going to be considered that early in the draft. So I was surprised by that. I was just really surprised by that. And I think I posted something on Twitter. It was Brett Coleman talking about Gibbs in terms of Dynasty League and real football. And like you've got to really be confident that Gibbs is going to be if you're one of those people that think Gibbs was like the same tier of Bijan or like you would have rather had Gibbs at 30 over Bijan at the top 10. This is what I've been trying to say, guys. Like he's not Kamara. He doesn't have the same contact balance. He doesn't have the same strength. He weighed in at the combine 199. I don't think he plays at 199. Kamara is like 215 plus. Kamara is a lot stronger. Kamara breaks tackles. Jahmyr Gibbs does not break tackles.
Yeah, no.
You've got to be very confident that Gibbs is going to be one of the rare outliers and the next Jamal Charles for him. Because we love that comp. I love that comp, Jamal Charles comp, in terms of play style. Do I think he can reach that level of play? Yes, I think he can. Do I think that's likely? No, I don't think it's likely. I think that's the absolute highest ceiling for him, which is a high ceiling. But he's gonna have to be a rare outlier at the position for him to get to that Jamal Charles level. So I don't know, Like it's I've seen a lot of overhype with Gibbs for weeks leading up to the draft. So I just hope that people temper their expectations when it comes to him, because we have to remember, guys, the running back position size does freaking matter. Like if you're going to be a lead guy, you're going to be a featured guy to carry the rock, 15 to 20 times, you've got to have size on. You've got to have muscle. You've got to have muscle mass to be able to carry that type of workload. 199, it's just not going to happen.
Mhm.
That's the same reason why Gainwell, you can't project him to be a lead back for our offense. And that's why we signed Penny and traded for DeAndre Swift. They don't have the type of build to sustain that. So, yeah, I'll say this. I really like the fit in Detroit. So I understand why they targeted him. I like what he's probably going to do there. I just hope people temper their expectations. That's all. You don't go in and think that, he's absolutely going to be elite from day one. He's going to get he's going to break records, be the rookie of the year. I don't know. I don't see that because is he going to be the top wide receiver for them? No. Is he going to be the number 2 wide receiver for them? Probably not. Once Jameson Williams comes back, probably not. Is he going to be getting goal line carries for them? Probably not because David Montgomery's there. So, where's his production coming in? That's my point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. The questionable move to get him at 12, but I love the fit. I love where he went.
Mhm.
I just 12 is weird. 12 is weird.
Too high.
All right, so picks that I love. Well, let me get to the comments because now it's starting to get some comments. Ryan Soap says the Birds did add Morrow at linebacker, but each of you guys expect Howie to make a trade before the season like he did with Chauncey. We already addressed that. I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
Very, very possible. Marcus says, do you guys think the Jets are auto contenders simply because of Aaron? I don't think they're contenders because of Aaron. I think they're contenders because
Their defense.
they brought in Aaron and already have a contending type of team
Mhm.
outside of the quarterback.
Yeah.
He also said Texas pulled a Nikita move on the whole draft. Yeah, that was crazy. Ryan says he loves the Bills getting Osiris Torrance.
Yeah, it's a great pick too.
That was a great pick. That was another great pick. We talked about them needing trench play, better interior offensive lineman. They absolutely got one of the better ones. So that's awesome. Let's see. Mr. Wing says Richardson was a horrible QB in college. I think he was just inconsistent.
Yeah.
As usual, Mr. Wing, you add nothing to the conversation.
Ryan says Seattle and Eagles had the best drafts. I absolutely agree with that.
100%.
I think it's Seattle. I think it's Philly. I think also teams worth mentioning. Colts had an awesome draft. I think the Bengals had a great draft too. So those two, yeah. Marcus says, will Steichen use the running back more or less than the Eagles?
It's a good question.
I think about the same amount.
Yeah.
We ran the ball a lot.
Yeah, we ran the ball a lot.
It depends. If they have Richardson starting, I would say yes, just to kind of ease him into it.
He's starting.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they have a great running back, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And then he asked if Gibbs has a better year than Swift, was it worth it? I don't know if you can use that measuring stick as the reason why it'd be worth it though. Swift was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But if you guys remember, before he got hurt, he was having a really, really good year.
He killed us.
Yeah, he killed us.
He killed us.
He was having a great year before he got hurt. So it's not about production. It was about being able to stay on the field.
And he only missed what, like 3 games last year? Something like that?
Yeah, the last 2 years, he's only missed 3 games each.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but when he came back, he wasn't 100% though.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, that's why he lost a lot of reps when he came back to Williams at first, and then they started to ease him in. So I'll run down the list of picks that I had in terms of my picks that I loved. Devin Witherspoon. I don't know why none of us called that, but that makes so much sense. Devin Witherspoon to the Seahawks makes just perfect sense to me. I don't know why none of us saw that coming. We already talked about JSN. Zay Flowers going to the Ravens. I love that move.
That's a great
love
pick.
that move. And it coincides with the Chargers at 21 because I thought the Chargers should have gotten Zay Flowers. They went Quentin Johnson, and then the Ravens got Zay Flowers. So I loved the Ravens picking Flowers. I hated the Chargers going Quentin Johnson over Zay Flowers.
Mhm.
I think that you need a deep threat. You need someone that's I don't know.
I'm very excited to see how Zay Flowers is going to block for Omar.
Anyways, Dalton Kincaid to the Bills. Love that fit because
That's a good one.
the Bills need a freaking tight end.
Yep.
So they got the best one in the thing in the draft. Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers is just so fitting.
That's just like a feel good story.
Yeah,
So,
that's a feel good system fit. Just yeah.
Did his dad play there?
his dad played for
Joey Porter.
the Steelers. Yeah, his dad played for the Steelers forever. He won. I'm trying to remember. He won 1 or 2 championships with the Steelers.
I
But
think it was 2, but I could be wrong.
But it's cool, right? Because there was a picture of Joey Porter after winning the Super Bowl. He's holding Joey and his other brother.
Yep.
It's a really cool picture. But it's cool, right? Because obviously the son already knows the inside of the building. He knows the owners and everyone like the back of his hand already. So it's like, oh, cool, I'm going home.
Yeah. Brian Branch to the Lions. Oh God, 2nd round, 14th pick. Man, that's great value. Jaden Reed to the Packers. I think Jaden Reed's very underrated. I think Jaden Reed could be one of those. If there's out of the wide receivers that we're taking on day 2, I think he could end up being the best one. DJ Turner to the Bengals. Love that. Obviously, we talked about Sidney Brown. We talked about Hendon Hooker. Okay. Devin A-Chain to the Dolphins. There is no other team that was a perfect fit for A-Chain in terms of speed, play style. Oh my God. If there was one team for A-Chain, it was the Dolphins. I loved that pick. Perfect fit. And you guys know me. I had concerns about A-Chain.
Yep.
But this is what we're talking about in terms of where they're drafted matters so much. Because when you pre-draft, when you evaluate prospects, you have to talk about how they're projected and how they'll be used. A-Chain to the Dolphins is just such a good pick. Such a good pick. Loved it. And then obviously to finish off, Chase Brown to the Bengals. Great situation because we obviously know Joe Mixon is in hot water there in Cincinnati. I honestly think Chase Brown, either by the end of the year or next year, will supplant Mixon in one way or another as the lead back in Cincinnati. Picks that we hated. I know you talked about, Jake. You mentioned one already, but PY and Jake, any picks that you just hated?
Will McDonald
to Jets.
I was so confused. I'm like,
yeah,
ASM was right there. I'm like, what are you doing?
Mine would be Mozzie Smith to Dallas. Like, just what are you doing? Like, don't get me wrong, Mozzie Smith is good, but not for where you picked him at. You had better talent there.
They needed a. This is one of the drafts where I'm like, Cowboys usually draft well.
Yeah, this year it's just
No.
I mean, you had the feel-good story with the running back they drafted. His dad's a scout there, so that was cool. That was really cool. But other than that, I just nothing fantastic, nothing great. I mean, I get they had a need at the interior defensive line, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done much better than what they got, but
I hated seeing Tyjae Spears go to the Titans.
Yeah,
because I think that there could have been just much better places for him to go. That scheme is going to limit him. I wish he went somewhere more fun. I hate seeing that. Emmanuel Forbes, we talked about it. We debated this with Tom. Emmanuel Forbes being picked by the Commanders at 16.
Yeah.
I get the ball production, and that's why I liked Forbes. Pete and I had him higher than usual. Like most people had him like second round, third round. Pete and I had him late first. So I liked Forbes compared to consensus, but at 16 over Christian Gonzalez was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But the number, my most hated pick, the worst pick in the whole draft was the kicker, Jake Moody, going in the third round to the
Yeah.
What are you doing picking a kicker in the third round?
Yeah.
And
Kickers have feelings.
I talked about it on Twitter, and one of my friends was like, "Yeah, but he's automatic, bro." Yo, they said that about.
You know how many times dudes who get picked are automatic?
Yeah. Who was the one by the Packers take? Roberto Aguayo. He was automatic, so they took him in the second round.
He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Remember when we took Alex Henry in the fourth round because he was automatic.
Oh my god!
So they actually had a list of like the most efficient college kickers of all time. Alex Henry was number 2.
Yeah. See,
he's the most accurate kicker in Michigan history.
In the fourth round, and that was still a bad pick.
Yeah, he's the most accurate.
Jake Moody in the third round. I don't care if it's a comp pick. Third round, Jake Moody, a kicker.
I don't know.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I mean, you like kickers, I understand, but not that high.
No,
wasn't
go higher than 5th.
Wasn't Janikowski a first round pick, or am I wrong?
Yes,
he was a first round pick. Yeah. Okay,
but he's like he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
He's a Hall of Famer, yeah. So
but I'd still say that's a bad pick because
right. You don't jump the kicker that high. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, we're also fortunate too because we have one of the best kickers in football, and
not everyone can get
we got him as a free agent,
as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like Martian says.
His name's spelled weird.
Henry.
His name's spelled weird.
My god. Oh my god. And Glizzy says, as an Eagles fans, I love the Cowboy draft.
Yeah.
Yes, it was not good.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Ryan's I'm assuming he means Penny. I don't know who Perry.
Yeah, Penny. Yeah,
I'm assuming he means Penny.
Penny
is absolutely more honest.
Yeah, Penny, 100%.
Penny has had serious injuries that has ended his season. Swift has only missed, you guys said, like 3 games in the past few seasons. So he's had like mediocre, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it hasn't been as serious.
But here's the thing, though, too. You're talking about 2 guys also that are in contract years.
Yeah.
So this is the year for them to make franchise, life-changing money.
Absolutely.
So you're going to get a lot of production out of these guys. I know there was a rumor going around that the Eagles kind of see Swift as more of a long-term solution at running back. And again, he's only 24, so I get it. He's real young.
Give him like a 2-3 year contract.
Right, that's what I was thinking. 2-3 year. I wouldn't do it before the season though, just because I just don't think that's a good.
You want to see him. You want to see it actually. How he
right. Yeah. And Howie Roseman talked about that too, about giving guys extensions before the season was over. He thought it was just wasn't good business. If anything, I think unless he like blows everyone's socks off, I think it's going to be one of those things where you wait till the end of the year and see what happens. But we'll see.
Yeah, I can say.
Don't get me started.
Yeah,
please don't get me started. You know what's funny? I went to our first preseason game after we drafted Pumphrey. He muffed the punt, and I knew immediately. I'm like, this guy's gonna stink.
I thought he was gonna be so good.
I'm like, this guy's gonna stink.
I thought that Pumphrey was my first hard lesson when it came to running backs and size mattering, and also like, here's the thing. Pumphrey's skill set, like he had the athletic ability to be like a good scat back.
Yep.
But the thing is, he was never used that way in college. And that's the tough part. Like, you can project, but when they were never used that way in college, you're guessing a lot of times when it comes to projection. So his transition to to be that receiving guy, to be a returner. It never worked out because he never did it. And then he just didn't take size well. He didn't, you know what I mean? Like he didn't take contact well at all. So he looked fast, he was dynamic, and he had good vision, but yeah, he just size matters. Size
Sorry.
absolutely matters.
Kyle Schwarber home run. That was
Oh,
but
anything else regarding the draft?
That draft. There was a comment that I did see. Oh, with Mr. Wing. Talking about the punter that we got. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, anyone's better than the guy we have now.
Yeah.
Not true. We got Ty. I like that Ty Zinter.
That's what I'm talking. No, I'm saying the other
That's
guy.
what he's talking about.
Yeah, the other guy that we have stinks. I'd rather have Ty Zentner, but again, I know Pete might not agree, but there's a guy out there that was found not guilty and
Matt Ariza.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Like obviously he was proven innocent, but I think it might just be tough for the Eagles. Even the fact that he was associated with that at all, it might make them.
No, I hear you.
My whole thing with that is like, how did he get put there? That's my question.
I think it was people he was hanging out with. I think that's what it was, more than anything.
Gotcha.
But I mean, the guy's immensely talented.
He was in the European, or was it the Mexican football league?
Something like that, yeah. It's just unfortunate. I hope it doesn't cost him his career now that he's found innocent.
Yeah.
I hope someone gives him a job.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I'm not saying like just because I'm an Eagles fan, it's just based off history. We're known to give a lot of guys second chances. Michael Vick's a prime example. And Jeffrey Lurie's willing to bite the bullet on some bad press for a little bit in order to reevaluate a guy. And again, he doesn't need reevaluation, but I mean, we'll see. And I'm sure they probably did their homework and looked into it or looking into it. But
it's a thing where they're willing to take chances on guys they believe deserves a second chance. That's the difference. Like the whole thing with Greg Hardy.
Not the Cowboys.
Yeah, like the whole thing with Greg Hardy didn't really show. He never owned up to what he was doing. He never showed remorse or anything. Like that's a guy who doesn't deserve.
Welcome to Walmart.
Yeah, he's working at Walmart now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's getting his ass whooped in the UFC.
He's working at Walmart now. It's nuts.
Thank God. Karma. So that's the difference. If the Eagles believe that a player deserves a second chance, they'll do it because that's I think that everyone does deserve a second chance if they're willing to do what's necessary to get that second chance.
Right.
I still remember Jordan Matthews busting his face into the ground in overtime for the win.
Oh yeah.
The Sam Bradford drive of his life.
Oh yeah.
The best Sam Bradford game ever. I will always be here.
I've never worked myself into a quarterback more in my life.
But Pete, I'm right there with you. That year, I was so excited, and they were hyping it all up, like, "Oh, we got DeMarco Murray, and we got Sam Bradford." They're back.
I spent a whole offseason just looking at every throw he had made in like the last few years before that, just because it was just like trash, and now he finally had weapons and a good, solid O-line. I was just excited.
But the thing was, like, it's not like he stunk.
Yeah.
He just got hurt all the time. He got hurt all the time. That was his problem.
Yeah, when he was healthy, he was really good.
Like, if you looked at the year, I think he was healthy for 7 games, and he was fantastic. Yeah. And then he got hurt, and then he just fell off.
Yeah, you remember his I believe it was his final season before he officially retired, but he was with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. And he's an MVP candidate.
Do you remember like that home opener? He had the game of his life. I think he threw like over 300 yards, and I think it was like 3 or 4 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, yeah, he's good. Like, I don't think he was ever elite. I don't think any of us ever argued he was elite.
No.
But the Sam Bradford people like us, yeah, I think our whole argument was he's a good quarterback. That's all. Like he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a good quarterback. That's it. But like you said, Jake, he just never stayed healthy, and the injuries just caught up, like the concussions and all of that. And he was an easy target to make fun of because of like the cross-eyed profile picture and the
the sleeves,
and the Peyton Manning loose
Stevie
sleeve.
Wonder.
God.
So
Martian, you don't understand. Like after that, I thought we were going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh my God.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh my
like, this,
God.
I'm like, this is it. We've arrived.
10
the
for
Packers
10
were really good
and
back
3
then.
touchdowns.
The Packers were really good back then, and it was weird too, right? Because like it felt like an actual game, and when we were watching it, it just felt like the first half. It felt like an actual game. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like with Bradford, like there's a reason why teams still wanted him, because I think that when you look at his arm still was good. He was such an accurate QB. So like, even though he was injury prone, coaches still liked him because he was so accurate.
Yep.
He was a very accurate quarterback. So I will still defend Sam Bradford and say that like he wasn't as bad as a lot of people made him out to be. He just was never healthy. So.
Yeah, and he was one of the last few quarterbacks that got drafted and got a bunch of money.
Contract, yeah. I think he was.
Well, he's the reason why they have everything the way he is
right. Yeah. He was the last one.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Oh my God, those years.
Those years were fun.
Those years.
God. All right, gentlemen. Birds of a Feather Friday night. That puts a wrap on that. Appreciate you guys coming on Friday. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in on Friday night. We will be back to our regularly scheduled Thursday nights next week. And, hopefully everything will be back to normal. We'll be doing, he says, Jake, you're telling me I was sold on Fultz to complete the process just as much as we were going to the Super Bowl after sleep.
I was not a Fultz guy. I was not a Fultz guy at all, personally. I really wasn't. Like he had a good shot coming in, and then he changed it when he got in the league. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was the big red flag.
It's a whole. He all of a sudden changed his shot, and then he's shooting free throws like this.
I don't know. That was scary. But yeah, we'll be back to Thursday night. Thank you to all of our listeners here for tuning in once again. Thank you to our show sponsor, Baggio's Bread. Remember to mention A2D to get 10% off your in-store purchase. For myself, for Jake Friel, for PY, and for Pete Evans, everyone else at A2D Radio, we've got some awesome brand new shows coming in. We've also got the new show Vetted with Irving Fryer and Hollis Thomas. Come on, guys. Former Eagles players. We got some big names coming in. Definitely stay tuned. Stay plugged in with the station. We are about to blow up, I'm telling you. So we appreciate your support. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 9:30, same time, same place. But till then, God bless, Godspeed, go Eagles. Peace out.